Hello everyone, Nancy at Paper Moon Tarot. I am doing a VR to the lovely Mascha at Musings by Mascha, where she wants us to look at the trump cards, our favorite trump cards, starting with the Fool and doing one every few weeks. So I am starting with the Fool today and showing you 5 cards from decks that I think she has your favorite trump cards, but I don't know that these are my favorite, but I think they're the most intriguing. So hopefully that's okay, Masha. I could probably go on for hours on with dozens of favorite Fool cards and count them down. But anyway, I kind of like these because they make me think about it a little bit. They add a little dimension to it. So the first card I have is from Alice in Tarotland by Loreen Muzik, Muzik. And this Fool card has, of course, it's an Alice in Wonderland deck, so it's Alice. And I really like that image for the Fool. It's Alice stepping through the looking glass, going into this totally unknown place. She's innocent, she's young, she's wanting to go off on an adventure, and who knows what's going to happen to her out there. She's a fool for taking a step through the looking glass. I also like that we have these cards here. Of course, playing cards are part of the Alice in Wonderland, Alice Through the Looking Glass world, where we have playing card people in the courts, the Queen's Court. But it adds a dimension to me for the Fool because of cards are part of not only tarot, but they're part of gambling and games of chance. So to me, taking a chance on something that's kind of unknown, kind of a risk, that's part of the Fool too. So I like this take on it. I love it when creators find a different spin on the way to get the energy of a card through to you. And this one is great. The other thing I kind of love in this one is that you've got this teacup, if I can make it focus, this teacup flying through the air and falling down. And I think of in England, where Alice is placed, Alice in Wonderland was created by a British Don at Oxford, I think. Tea time is a very proper time. It's a very set tradition. It's traditional. It's not outside of uh, things, the normal things that people do in society. And in this case, it's flying through the air. So it's sort of flying in the face of tradition, in the face of what is the norm, which is kind of another interesting aspect for the Fool. So that is my first Fool. Again, it's Alice in Tarotland. Okay, my second Fool is from a very lovely favorite deck, the White Sage Tarot. And it's so simple, but what I love about this is all you have to see is a little puppy with a stick in its mouth, and you feel that sense of innocence and foolishness, a puppy rambunctious, rolling around, running after things, just that energy of innocence taking off after whatever it thinks is interesting or intriguing. And the Fool being that kind of card where I don't even know if the puppy knows it's taking a risk because it's just flying out there into the world like a baby, like an innocent. And it's taking risks, whether it knows it or not. It's flying out there uh, just to have fun, just to try things, just to experience life. And I think that's very much what the Fool is. So I love this very simple take on a Fool, but it immediately speaks to me of this childish puppy energy. And I think that's definitely part of our Fool. Okay, that's 2. The third card I have is from the Meraki Tarot. I just got the second edition of this. And the full card here, the deck has a lot of energy for crystals in it. And this Fool is simply a box full of crystals flying through the air, high up in the mountains where there's some danger, of course. But a lot of these crystals came from the mountains. They're part of that earth energy. And I think when I talk of energy, crystals have energy. Minerals and materials from the earth often have energy of their own, whether you think it's some sort of cosmic spiritual energy or it's just the fact that certain minerals have energy. They can be magnetic in some cases. Some of the materials from earth can be magnetic. So the idea of all this energy popping out of the box and flying everywhere, that's another interesting interpretation of the Fool to me. So that is the Meraki Tarot, and that is my third Fool. Okay, the next to the last one, and I don't know if these are in order of preference or just kind of fun, just order of fun. This is from the Lily White Tarot, and it's by Celia Mellesville. I love this deck. It is an absolutely gorgeous deck. It's upside down, which you order from France, from Celia in France. There's also a Lily Black Tarot and a Lily White Tarot. The Fool in this one is a tree hanging off of a cliff. And I've heard some people comment on this card, and I think I've seen other cards like this where there's something growing out of a cliff. Well, the tree didn't have a choice, and the Fool is really a risk taker, so how did this tree take a risk? Well, I respond to it because where I live in the Pacific Northwest, we have trees called madrone or madrona trees, and we have several of them around us. In fact, our property was named by the developer of it, Madronas. And these trees move wherever they can to find the sunlight. You'll see them shaped like this, bent out in amongst other trees to find the sun. And so they're very, I think, unusual trees in that you find them just taking turns this way and that to find their way amongst the other trees and get that sunlight that they need. So I love this card because it shows hanging out on a cliff, that part of the Fool stepping off of a cliff, but it also shows that drive towards your desire. And in the case of a tree, it's to get sunlight, to get nourishment. But for the Fool, it's to feed that desire for adventure and risk and something different and something new and to learn. And that kind of speaks back to the concept of the tree of knowledge a little bit, that might be reaching, but it's kind of fun to play around with these images and the ideas and the energy of the card, which I think is one of the fun things about this challenge from Mascha. So I love this Fool from the Lily White Tarot. Finally, I have a Fool from the Numinous Tarot. And the Numinous Tarot is a little more of a contemporary take on the cards. And in the case of the Fool, it's someone leaping off a cliff with a rainbow behind her or him. I think it's a her. But what's fun about this one is I think it's got a lot going on. You've got the sun here and the rainbow, but you've also got clouds. You've got storm down here. You've got, storm and the waves. You've got the potential of the sun and the rainbow, the bright side, and you've got the dark side. And this person is willingly leaping into all of that, knowing that it could be anything that could happen to you, good, bad, and in the case of the tarot, as you go through the major arcana, there is good and there is bad. It's a learning experience if you follow the fool's journey from the beginning to the end. But the exuberance, not just standing on the cliff with a foot about to step off of it, but actually in mid leap, I think that's a fun interpretation of the Fool. And so the Numinous Tarot is my final Fool in response to Mascha's challenge, first challenge of a Fool card in the trumps that you, well, she said your favorite. Again, to me it's what intrigues me. What intrigues me about these cards, putting a different spin on the Fool. So there we are. There they are. I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think of these and what your favorite Fool is. And we'll see you soon. Take care.